welcome. Today, I'll be teaching you how to file your taxes. So, before I start getting into the specifics and stuff, um, I'll just say that there are different ways to file your taxes. You can file online through a company like TurboTax, or on paper, which TurboTax also lets you do. Lets you print out your tax return and information, stuff like that. Now, for both instances, there are ways to sort of get out of doing it yourself. For TurboTax, you can pay a fee, and it'll file it for you. On paper, you can pay an accountant, pay a fee, they'll do it for you, stuff like that. But this is assuming we don't have that luxury. So, starting off with the TurboTax form that we print out. Since I printed out through that, it has everything from uh, where we're going to be mailing it, when our taxes are due, right? And our general information, so adjusted gross income, taxable income, total tax, everything like that. Obviously, you have everything labeled as 0 because it's just an example sheet, nothing specific on it. Okay. Normally, you're also going to have a W-2, which is going to be provided by your employer. It's going to have all your information, income, and stuff like that. So, looking at it, as you can see, it's going to have employers info, your info, and basically all your income, right? So, which tips, Social Security wages, Medicare wages, everything like that. So that's everything you make, basically. And everything here is everything that's going to be taken off or withheld for tax, okay? And see down here as well, you have tips and stuff, right? So if you're a waiter or a job that collects tips, you're going to have to self-report those, right? So that, because the IRS finds out that you have unlabeled cash, right? That you can be fined a greater amount, be charged, stuff like that. It's a crime, basically. So we want to avoid that. So whenever we have all that information, right, we're going to want to move on to our actual tax return sheet. As you see, as error information as well, name, social security number, zip code. I've all labeled out though. And if you look here, it says a joint spouse first name and middle initial. That refers to our filing status. So if you look down here, as you see, it says single. So there are different brackets, stuff like married filing jointly or married filing separately, head of house, qualifying surviving spouse. And what those do really, it just affects your tax bracket. So if we look up here, right, we have, so I'm a single filer, I make less than 11,600. So I would have a 10% tax rate, right? Obviously it goes up. The more you make, the higher your tax rate is. As you see, it's different for each group, basically. All right. Now, so we figure out that my tax rate is 10%. Okay, you're gonna figure out your tax rate. Okay, and we're gonna move on from there. We don't really need to do anything with that right now. So, someone you can claim, right? Standard deductions, basically. Can someone claim you as a dependent? Basically, do you take care of someone? Does someone take care of you, right? Can they use you as a deduction on their taxes? That's labeling you as it. Now, if we go down here as well, you can see age and blindness. So, it's basically asking, are you elderly or are you disabled? Because you can get a discount on your taxes if you qualify for either of those. It asks the same for your spouse if you're filing jointly. And then it asks for your dependents. So basically, do you take care of someone? Do you have a child? Do you live with an older brother that is disabled? You need to take care of him, right? You need to pay for him and stuff. You would file this out. You would give their information, blah, 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 social security number, relationship to you, everything like that. All right? Okay. Now, for this lower portion, as you see, it's labeled as income. So, see here, attached forms, W-2, BUG, RX was withheld. If you do not get the form, see instructions. So, obviously, I don't have it, but I have an example. I don't need it for this, and it's just an example. So you see, it has all your information from total amount, tips and income, Medicare waiver, taxable dependents, wages from form, all of that stuff. Now, if we go down here, we can see standard deductions or itemized deductions. We can also see adjustable gross income. So basically, that's, if we go over here to standard deductions, single or married, right? This is a standard deduction. It obviously changes depending on your how are you filing, of course. Okay. If we go down here, qualified business income deductions, or no, qualifying business income deductions. Sorry about that, I blanked. So qualifying income deductions. This is basically anything that can be taken off, right? All of that. You're going to add those up. It's going to go down there, basically. Okay. Now for this example, as you can see, I'm going to say subtract 14 from 11. 11 is your gross income and deductions, basically, right? That's basically when we taking off what are you going to have to pay. So, what do you make? So, from this, though, okay, if 0 or less than enter 0, this is your taxable income. Obviously, for this sheet, I make $0, so I have no taxable income. But, obviously, whenever you actually do the math, you're going to do all the math, it's going to come out to there. That's going to be basically the income that they can tax you on, right? Moving on. Okay, so on this other sheet, we have tax and credit. So basically, as you see, it just labels tax, checks for any form. As you put that there, okay? Count, add lines, 17 to 16, you add those up, amount from schedule. That's basically your total tax, sort of. Hard to explain. Then there are obviously different types of taxes, of child tax. As you see down here, it says self-employment tax. It's basically finding how much, like, your general tax, how much you owe, I guess, to say. It's hard to explain. And then you have payments. So it's kind of how you're gonna pay, I guess. Hard to explain. But yeah, no, continue off of that. So basically, bring up to new credit card. Basically, payments, stuff that can go into it. Basically, anything that can. How do I say this? I guess different ways of paying it, right? See, these are your total other payments and refundable credits. Total other payments. When it says refundable credits, it's basically saying like charitable causes, stuff like that, which can be taken as deductions, right? Or if you're or medical bills, right? Right, can be taken off as a deduction. And if you or job expenses, those can be taken off as deductions, be labeled there, right? That can be taken off taxes as well. So now refund. Now refund really only applies, as it says here, this is the amount you overpaid. So if let's say you owe $10,000, right, in taxes, okay, and you paid $11,000, they owe you $1,000, right? So amount loan you want to refund, the amount you want refunded to you, you label there, okay. Routing number, accounting number, that's private information for you. Type, checking, savings, it's basically how you want that money refunded. Now, really what that means when you overpay, basically means you're kind of like giving the government a small loan. It's like, because they owe you that money back, right? And you have to actually fill this out to get any of that money back if you do overpay. So down here it says amount you owe. Guess what that means? Subtract total payments, which is up here. It says line 33 from 24, which is your total tax. Okay, that's the total amount you owe. So that's what you're gonna fill out. Okay, that's what they're gonna take out, stuff like that. Okay, third party designer, along with the person discussed this return to the IRS. No. Okay. And then obviously when you're finished actually putting all the numbers and information in, you don't want to sign it, phone number, stuff like that, self-explanatory stuff, self-explanatory stuff, sorry. Paid prepper use only. This is more like who prepped this for you. So as you see, it has firm name, self-prepared, because we did it. But if you, like I said, if you paid for an accountant, right? Firm's name, obviously, that might have to do it, stuff like that. Phone number, farmer's name. That's all that really is to it. Obviously, that's the sped ran version and not the nitty gritty. But when we have all our numbers filled out, right? We just follow what this says, as you back to when it said mail Department of Treasury, Internal Revenue Service at Austin, Texas. Okay. And when you do that, you hope you did your numbers right, because if you didn't, the IRS will come after you. Okay. And you'll be charged for that, right? Now, I did forget to mention that if you do underpay, it's not exactly like an immediate crime. Obviously, you can make it up, right? They may charge you extra for misdoing the numbers, but overall, it's not that big a deal. Okay. Moving on, deadline postmark.